run a service company called ServFix. To grow, I need to understand my competitors, what they offer, how they attract customers, and why people trust them. But all this data is scattered, and I'm left guessing what actually works. What if I could see not just what competitors do, but why they win? CompeteSmart analyzes competitor strategies and gives me clear actions to take. Now, I don't react, I outsmart, stop reacting, start outsmarting.
Hi, this is from Team Tech Divas. We chose the problem statement market intelligence, which is track 2. So our solution for the problem statement is CompeteSmart. So what the application addresses is basically all of the data that is available is scattered across the internet. So a company, let it be small scale or large scale, cannot like spend so much time in researching everything and going through reviews of other competitors and what is actually trend in the market. We built CompeteSmart to give them a unified platform where they can get analysis of the trend that is in the market and also about their competitors that it shows. So going forward with the demo, this is the landing page of our application. Our project basically utilizes 3 layers, which is the intelligence layer, decision and the trust layer, which will be further explained in the demo. This is the messaging panel where you can reach us out. Getting started, right now we have a test login to get started. After logging in, we will get this onboarding page where it shows the details that you have to give such that we can provide you the analysis. So basically you have to enter your name and then your email will be filled from the before page, and then your company's name, and the company website is optional. You can give your location for us to easily search up your company, and then you can provide which competitor that you wanted to research and analyze for. This also has a AI suggestion where it takes the details of your company and then suggests valuable competitors who can be potential for you guys. So started from the pipeline, which basically starts at web scraping. In web scraping, we scrape the data from the competitors website and product review pages, and then collect the data, and then we normalize the data and check with the signals already existing. If only the data is new, we add it to the database, else we'll just neglect it. The new signals that we found is made into embeddings, and then the embeddings are used for the semantic search. So using semantic search, we can get context of what the data actually says, and which is very useful for the theme distribution and market segment strength. So initially we have the fastest growing company out of the 3, which is Urban Company according to the data, and then the highest saturation means what basically the market focuses more on, which is like more crowded segment. Top opportunity is basically given by the low competition, like what and all the competitors are doing very less. Clusters tracked is basically how many clusters and data we are tracking to show you these results. In the analysis, momentum over time is we have data collected from 2022 to till date. So it will be basically showing you how the companies have tracked, and then the theme distribution like goes on with various themes, and then it will show you all of the companies and how much they have contributed. And then position mapping is basically showing you where each of your competitors stand. And action strategy is basically the white space opportunities. White space opportunity basically means the gap detection in the company. And market segment strength shows you like per company and what are their strengths. So coming to the main feature, which is a novel feature of our application, is suggested experiments. Utilizing the data we collect from the websites and the internet, we prioritize the insights. Prioritizing means we prioritize yesterday's data more than last month's data. So we do the prioritization, and then what we do is suggest you based on the confidence score the top 3 of the experiments that you could implement in your company, such that it is derived from the success rate of the companies that you have already implemented. We have also shown the traceability, so that we don't like blindly give them some data, we just show where we are taking this data from and like in what is the guarantee of this thing. So also this doesn't mean it is going to be a success, this just means that you are been suggested some experiment on basis of what has already been a success. And this is a chatbot where you can ask help for your experiment. So basically you can go and click one of these and then it will just suggest you to what about your application and how will you have to implement this by phase. This is how the output of the prompt will be, and then it will give you how to implement it phase by phase, taking the context of the chosen experiment.
This is the walkthrough for the chatbot that only answers experimental legal questions for CompeteSmart. It triggers users' input, validates it, restricts topic scope, and sends it to AI and returns a structured response. So let's go node by node. So on the first one, we'll know when a user sends a message, it first enters through a web hook. This is the entry point of our system. Next, we process the input by extracting the message, session ID, and conversation history. We also validate whether a message is NP or not. It triggers NP to system immediately response we can add it. Once validated, the message goes to topic guard. This is the key component. It checks whether user's query is record experiments, K or B history, or competitor intelligence. If it's not relevant, chatbot does not proceed further and instead redirects the user with helpful suggestions. If the message is valid within the scope, then the build a structured request for the AI model, specifically Google Gemini. Here, we define strict instructions. So the lawyer, when he gives the experiment of record answers, the request is sent to the AI, which generates the response based on the user's query and conversation history. Once we receive the response, we parse it and clean it and update the conversation history to maintain context. Finally, the system sends a response back to the user through the webhook. So overall, the flow is input, the validation, the topic filtering, AI processing, and response delivery. So this ensures that chatbot stays focused, reliable, and aligned with CompeteSmart purpose.
Moving to the experiment builder, in which we basically give you a future prediction of what will actually happen if you implement this particular idea to your own company. The suggestion is basically based on the previous data available based on how the company has performed, but the builder shows you how it will work on your particular company based on your data. So if we start the simulation, if you can see, it runs through several iterations until it can reach more than the competitor, like in the future if it is possible for you to go more than the competitor. So the white space mapping is basically the gap detection. The saturation score should be as small as possible, because saturation is basically how frequently context is used, and persona drift is basically how much your audience is changing over the time. So based on all of these factors, we try to maximize your win over the competitor, and we tell you if it's actually possible for you to be ahead of your competitor following this experiment. And if it does, at some point the iteration stops and you can actually proceed with the experiment. But this is like not very prone to happen, but basically it just gives you an idea of how it will be. Since you cannot reach your competitor, the competitor is the green line and you are the company, my client is the red line. Since you can't reach it, so it will be always like down. So this experiment does no good, so it will be a projected failure. So you needn't go forward with this experiment. You can try on other experiments. This is the history of experiments. You can like see what and all experiments you have done. So yeah, this is all about our project, and this is how CompeteSmart works. Thank you.